Your host, Ruth Ann Thompson, the Senior Retailer Relations Manager here at AfterShock Comics. And we're going to jump right into it with our Get to Know Your AfterShock staff with the incredible, the incomparable Marc Hammond. What's up, buddy?
That's me. I am totally Marc Hammond.
It's this one. It's true. It's that guy.
All right, good talk. I'll see you later.
Yeah, all right, cool. It was good having you on. So Marc and I were hired about the same time. So
Marc, the same day.
Yeah, pretty much. Tell the folks at home what you do here at AfterShock while I pour myself a blood orange martini to go along with what we're talking about today.
Did you make enough for the whole audience?
Yeah, I mean, you'll have to just come here and find out as I turn off my cell phone. That should not be ringing.
I am the Senior Retail Sales Development Manager, and what that means is I'm one of the people that talks to the retailers all around the country. AfterShock wanted a retailer, an active retailer on staff. I co-own 2 shops in a chain of 3 called All Yeah Comics, and they wanted someone that is actively talking to comic fans on the front lines every day, so that anybody at AfterShock that wants to get a retailer's perspective on any question at any time, they've got someone on staff to do that, which brings them closer to the retailers. That's
yes, and the other stuff that he does at this job is keeping me sane.
Yes.
We knew right away we'd be friends when during conference calls we would say jokes, but then it would just end all the conversation. So then we just started messaging each other like different puns and very bad dad jokes.
So you've got a blood orange martini. I've got bourbon.
Oh, fair enough. Fantastic. Now we get cheers. Not much left, but cheers to you. Awesome. So since you're how you doing?
Marc doesn't drink very often. Cheapers. All right.
Woo, now he's ready.
That's really strong. All right, good deal.
Amazing.
The things I do for AfterShock. I love this company.
I know. Oh God, me and Marc are quite the duo at the conventions. Would you like to tell the folks at home what it's like, setting up the booth with us every morning?
So what most people don't understand or know about Ruth Ann and I is that we are a wrestling tag team. We are Flesh and Vengeance. And every convention we've ever done together, we start the morning by setting up the booth to the loudest possible volume of whatever Lizzo song we decide needs to be played at that moment. And there is no wrong answer. There is no wrong song to play. And the funny thing is, rather than annoy the people around us, usually everybody gets into it because we're awesome.
Yep, there's dancing, there's singing. It's all good things. All good things.
So much dancing.
So we've had a lot of awesome titles come out, even in the last few weeks. Have you had any favorites or anything that you're super looking forward to from the place that we work?
I think of everything that we're putting out right now, the one that I'm enjoying the most is Shadow Doctor. And I'm super. It's funny that this is the happy hour you had me on, because the one that I'm looking forward to the most coming up is Silver City, which comes out next week, and you're going to be talking to Olivia here in a moment, and that's awesome. I like the concept. I think it's going to be actually, I know it's an excellent book because I already read the first issue. And then for the stuff that came out this week, I would hold up covers of Baby Teeth and We Live, but we sold out of our copies. But I've got Eden.
Oh yes.
I know that's backwards. So the new One Shot by Cullen Bunn, and I thoroughly appreciated that book very much. As a person with tattoos, it speaks to me. So yeah, but of the stuff that we've got already coming out that's not a one shot, Shadow Doctor is doing it for me. I love it.
Yeah, it's still just so mind blowing to me that that's the real life story of his grandfather. Like it just. How did he not tell this story sooner? Like it's so like I'm just like, we're honored to have it being told, with AfterShock.
If you're out there and you're not reading Shadow Doctor, it is based on a very true story of the writer's grandfather, how he ended up being a mob doctor, and the mobster that he answered to was Scarface, Al Capone. And it's crazy. We do these creator calls from time to time when we know we have a title coming up, where the AfterShock staff gets to get on and hear the writer and the artist talk about their inspiration for the title and what it's about, and we are allowed to ask questions. And when the writer was telling us the story of that book, all of us were just kind of enraptured, and nobody was asking any questions because we just wanted to hear him tell more of it. So
yeah,
it's a fantastic series.
So definitely, yeah, if you guys haven't picked that up yet, highly suggest it.
That, and you saw that Christina sent us the second chapter for Rainbow Bridge that's coming up, our first release from Seismic by Steve Orlando, and I love it. I think it's
For those that don't know, Seismic is our new offshoot for YA titles. So between yes, Seismic Press to be specific, but yeah,
oddly enough, the Seismic Press is also one of our finishing moves in our tag team Flesh and Vengeance.
Flesh and Vengeance.
I would take another drink with you, but I took the last shot.
I know that was. You lush who's apparently never. Who was drinking that if you weren't drinking that, bro?
We used to so I'm here in my store right now, and pre-pandemic we would do different events, different signings, different nighttime parties and stuff like that, and they're generally 21 and up. So we have a liquor cabinet in the back of my store, and this is the first time that we've gone into it in a very long time.
All right. Well, I am honored that you busted out that last sip of bourbon for our happy hour today.
Well, I figured we had to do a little bit of drinking. You're gonna be talking to Joe later, right?
Yeah.
Always best to take the edge off before that.
Always. I mean, like every conference call that we have with that dude. Whew. For those that don't know, we absolutely adore Joe.
Yeah. 100%. That's true.
Yeah. We tease because we love him.
Well, because somebody has to.
Yeah. I mean, seriously.
It's funny as a retailer, all working for AfterShock aside, as a retailer, it's been really, really gratifying because we've been carrying AfterShock's books since they started, a little bit over 5 years ago. And we're starting to see a really dedicated fan following of people who are willing to try every series that's coming out. If it's got the AfterShock logo on it, they want it. They want to check it out. And people backtracking and going, oh my God, I didn't get that number one. I need to get that number one or whatnot. So we're seeing a lot of that, a lot of people paying attention, which is very gratifying because, all the AfterShock people work very, very hard on these books.
Yeah, speaking of AfterShock people, I'm giggling because Joe just texted me and me and Mark saying, I can hear you. You're on my list.
So if Joe can hear us, I'm guessing the next text I'm going to get is that I got fired.
Yeah.
Joe fires me
every day.
But he hires me because he can't live without me.
It's true. I mean, who could, Mark? It's
but
true.
I can give you a list. There's plenty.
Yeah.
So what is your favorite book that we're putting out right now?
Oh, geez. There's so many because they're like favorites for different genre for me. Do you know what I mean? Like the slice of life obviously is Shadow Doctor. Fantasy would be Bequest because
especially with y'all did that Bequest prequest. That was pretty
cool. Yeah, we did the prequest of the Bequest D&D stream because we are that nerdy.
Someone has to be, and we're willing to do it. It's good.
I am super stoked to have Baby Teeth come back because that was actually my first title I ever picked up from AfterShock. So it's kind of fun, like having it come full circle for me.
I have decided that I will buy 17, 18, 19, and 20 and not read them until 20 is out, and I'm going to go back and read all 20 issues at once.
Like binge style. All right.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So I'm going to text you and spoil everything. Cool?
No, not cool.
So in 17, just kidding. But Mark, thank you so much for joining us and chilling with us. Yeah, anybody in New York, please go visit Mark in Yeah Comics. He is a delight and his store is amazing.
Thank you. And the check is in the mail for that.
Yeah.
Have fun with Olivia and Joe, and I'll see you soon.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, so coming up next, we're going to have Olivia Cuartero-Briggs to talk about Mary Shelly Monster Hunter, as well as her new title coming up, Silver City. So give us 1 second. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the happy hour. I am so stoked to have on a guest that I've been really excited to be talking to again. I haven't seen her since 2019 LA Comic-Con. We have the beautiful, the talented Olivia Cuartero-Briggs. Hello, Olivia.
Hello, Rue. Good to see you again.
Good to see you too. Some stuff has happened since the last time I've seen you. How have you been?
Yeah, some stuff has happened. It's been a little while. When you posted that picture earlier today, I know I commented, but like My blood ran cold. That must have been like what, a couple months after I had my second daughter.
Yeah, barely. Yeah, and it was
Oh
just
my God.
she brought both nuggets, and her husband came too. So we had a panel and a signing, and
Yeah.
it was so lovely.
Oh, yes. Well, those were the days. Gosh, we never could have anticipated then what all of this would have looked like, huh?
Nope. Yeah, and I know, like going back to cons at the end of this year, it's going to be a little bit different. So I hope to see you in the safest capacity possible.
Yes, well, I'm fully vaxxed and I intend on keeping up with all of my boosters. So I will be wherever I can be, whenever I can be there with bells on.
Yes, same here. I think I'm officially, because it was a week ago yesterday, so officially I'll be good to go, as it were, on the 12th. So I'm
Oh,
excited to just go
yeah.
grocery shopping. Like I haven't been to Trader
I
Joe's in
know. I'll
forever.
tell you, it's a real game changer. We went to Universal Studios yesterday for my daughter's birthday, and of course, everybody's masked because it's part of what you have to do there. But just the general feeling of calm. You're waiting in line with people, you're 6 feet apart, but you're not totally panicked. So it's great, and I think here in LA, we've been doing really, really well. I'm really proud of LA right now for keeping
Same.
those numbers down.
It was a little concerning for a while there. We were like the top in the entire world. We had
Very.
what, 1 in 3 people here had COVID.
Yes.
Like,
Well, basically, I think the consensus was there was some LA Times article that was like, yeah, we just naturally reached herd immunity because just about everybody had it, whether
yes,
you know it or not. So yeah, we're good here now. And I was like, what? That's absurd. I know. It's so crazy.
crazy, crazy. Well, speaking of some craziness and a very old horror story told a different way, let's talk about your 2019 title, Mary Shelley, Monster Hunter. So this is,
Yes.
yes, this is the untold story behind the oft-told tale. But this is with the recent discovery of Mary Shelley's secret memoir, we find out that the truth is actually she didn't just write the book, but she actually lived the Frankenstein story. So then we go back
Yes.
all the way back to, what was it, 1816, with
Mhm.
Mary, her fiance, Percy, sisters Claire and Fanny, and the celebrated poet Lord Byron. And they find themselves in the very eerie, mysterious mansion of Frankenstein's manor. So I almost should have checked before we started this, because like one of my favorite twists that's in like what, the first or second issue. Like I feel
Yeah.
like
The
I feel
end of the
like we can
first book.
spoil. Yeah. I feel like
Yeah.
we
I
can.
mean, why not? It's part
It's
of
two
what makes the
years.
story so cool. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Throw it out there.
So I just absolutely love the twist, because it just adds so much to the story and why Frankenstein was built in the first place. But in this, the doctor is actually a woman. So
Yes, it's
Olivia, why don't you talk a little
Victoria.
bit about that? Yeah.
Well, the whole conceit behind writing Mary Shelley Monster Hunter, this was an idea that Adam Glass had, kind of mulling around in his head for years, actually, but he really wanted a female voice on the project. And it was just kind of perfect timing when we came together. And of course, I knew the name Mary Shelley, but I didn't know a ton about her. So I was doing a bunch of research and come to find out her mother is like the grandmother of modern feminism as we know it. And of course, like any revolutionary woman in her time, she wasn't very well respected, let's say, and she was almost lost to
Shocker.
history. Yeah,
Yeah.
right. But well-behaved women very rarely make history. But thankfully, for the 1970s, we found her again, and we have her back, and she's kind of been able to reclaim her legacy because of the movement in the 70s. So when I learned that, I thought, oh, okay, because Adam always likes to tackle, social and societal issues with every story that he tells. Very important to me as well. So once we discovered that, we're like, oh, well, this is all about women's issues. And what a fantastic time to be able to comment on them. I mean, Mary Shelley was so revolutionary in her own right. I think few people really understand how ridiculous it was. Not just that a 19-year-old wrote the first horror story, the first sci-fi horror story. She completely originated the genre at 19 years old. But before that, she was 16 years old, running off and traipsing through Europe with a married man. He was married. So
Yep.
this was like incredibly controversial, but they were in love and they stayed together until the end of Percy's life. and not only traipsing around with a married man, but her stepsister, Claire Claremont, and the notorious, ladies' man, Lord Byron, who had his own reputation to wrestle with. So learning about all of that, I thought this is a feminist story. It just is at its core. And what can we do to really drive this home? Because who needs subtlety in this world? I said to Adam, I was like, can we just make Victor Victoria? And he was like, absolutely. And that's when, to me, the story really started to kind of cohere. And it excited me so much that we could recast the creation of Frankenstein's monster, not just as scientific curiosity, but because here was a woman, Victoria Frankenstein, who wanted to make her way in the world. But at the time, women were not allowed to own property. They weren't allowed to be doctors. They couldn't go to medical school. They didn't even have the rights to their own children. So she is creating this man, she was not intending to create a monster or a creature. She's intending to create a man that she can retrain basically as an escort for her through the society of her time so that she can achieve her dreams behind this kind of beard, as it were. And to me, it was really a revelation getting there. I'm like, oh my gosh, this makes so much more sense now. Not that the original Frankenstein doesn't. I get the impetus behind that book, but I loved being able to kind of retool that in Mary Shelley Monster Hunter with this feminist bent of really trying to achieve independence through this creation.
Yeah, and it's like, as soon as I was reading it, I was like, of course, that's why you would build a man, is because you just like, I need to have this thing that's basically my shield and like my way to get around in this world. So absolutely. And the artwork of this is so incredible. So tell me a little bit what it was like working with Hayden Sherman, because it's almost like this watercolor that gives it this very sepia tone feel of obviously it's not in it's based in the 1800s, but tell me what it was like working with him and kind of capturing the look of everything.
Well, Hayden actually heard that Adam and I were cooking this up, and he reached out because he was so enthusiastic. And for any comic creators out there, it doesn't usually happen that way. And so when, you find an artist that's really enthusiastic about what you're doing and bringing it to life, that's not really something you want to pass up. And I checked out his artwork very, very early on, and it had this great, it felt antiquated and not like old in a bad way, but it felt like it had this kind of old quality, but more than that, it was eerie. There was something just inherently eerie about his line work and the use of color, and it was very natural. It didn't feel forced in any way. And I thought, oh, this is that spooky quality that we're looking for. So after looking at his work, I was on board, and Adam was on board, and we were off to the races.
Yeah, so show you some of the, just like the beginning pages, but you can see it feels like oh, perfect. Oh, great. That, for those who might have heard that was Stefan, our incredible producer, who's on top of things much more than I am. So yeah, it's an absolutely beautiful book. And it's available at all your comic book shops, the first 5 issues or the trade paperback, what I just showed off. So make sure you pick that up. And we have a brand new title from you that's coming out this coming Wednesday for New Comic Book Day on May 12th, and it is Silver City. So let's see, we have the artist is Luca Merli. Am I saying that right?
I believe so.
Name? Yeah. And the letterer Dave Sharp. So this is when a young roughneck lands in Silver City, the gritty purgatorial metropolis of the afterlife. She must adapt to her new existence while attempting to uncover how and why she died. But then her mission is derailed when she rescues a newly dead girl from a mysterious kidnapping attempt and discovers that she herself isn't who she thought she was. So I've obviously we already have the first issue here at AfterShock, and it's coming out next Monday, so I was able to read it. First question for you. I mean, I know we really hit it off back in 2019, and I mean, I find it very sweet that you named the main character after me for Rue.
I
That's
will say
absolutely what it
was
is.
coincidental, but I was so happy when I made that connection. I was like, oh my God, how did I never think of this before? But it came out of actually the word guru, which if
Oh,
I don't
yeah.
know if you know, but it's from the word guru. Gu means dark and ru means light. So it's from darkness to light.
Oh,
So now you know that with your
no.
nickname Rue. So that's why the character was named Rue.
Yeah, I absolutely love it. It was just like, ooh, I'll just say this is me. This is done.
I love
Just
it.
cut my hair, do a little like, dye my hair in the front
You'd
again,
have
be
to
done and
shave it
done.
on the side again
I know. Oh,
after all that
darn.
time
I
growing it
know.
out.
Yes, after this whole pandemic, finally growing it out. But I am learning it's really hot with this much hair. I see your hair is also like beautifully long since the last time
It
I've seen
is.
you.
Yeah, I let it go again, the pandemic, but my neighbor cuts hair. That's what he does
Oh,
professionally.
nice.
So yeah, I went in his like little backyard area with a mask on and he gave me my first haircut in a year and a half. So
Oh, good, good. It looks fantastic.
thank you.
So my other question for you with this, because it's beautiful, it's dark and gritty, and it's that mystery of purgatory, and everybody just wakes up after this what seems to be an explosion or a bombing or something. That's again, it's very mysterious, but they end up just in this completely other world, very almost cyberpunk-esque kind of you know
Oh, I love that.
underworld almost. But have you ever seen the old, I think it was like a mid 90s, early 90s movie called Defending Your Life? Did you ever see that movie? Old like Mel Brooks movie?
No, I
So
didn't.
it's I highly suggest it. It's a totally bright
Yeah.
version of what's maybe going on here. I haven't read, past the first issue, but it's a fun story where he dies, and purgatory is actually where you defend your life, and you show if you've learned everything you're supposed to learn in this lifetime to then move forward. And this one character, he's had to defend his life multiple times and he keeps getting sent back. And this is his last chance to kind of defend his life. So when I was first reading, I was like, oh, is this nope, totally different. Never mind. Don't listen to
Yep.
me. But for you, where did this story come from?
This story actually originated in a dream that I had, which is a crazy story. Every
Go on.
once in a while, you got it. Every once in a while, I have these super vivid dreams. And this one, I would think I was like 23 or 24. I was living over on Hollywood and Wilcox with my fantastic roommate at the time. His name is Brian. And he and I went to Oberlin College together. We were always making things together. So at the time, it was really fabulous because we like fancied ourselves filmmakers, which we like barely were at the time, but we were always coming up with ideas. And we would like pull off a massive sheet of white photography paper and like lay it on the floor and write out all of our ideas on there, which is like ridiculous to think of now. It's like not an effective strategy for
But it
laying
worked.
out your ideas,
Yeah.
but we had fun.
Yeah.
So I had someone to shoot ideas off of. So I had this dream where I woke up on the floor of this room I'd never been in before. It was very hazy, smoky. There were people around that seemed very distressed, but I could barely see them. And someone was coming around with a flashlight, shining it in my eyes. And they told me that I had passed on. And when they said that, I instantly believed it. I was like, okay, I'm dead.
Gonna
I
give
have
me
no idea
goosebumps.
what
This is so
happened.
amazing.
Oh, it was it was like pretty ridiculous. And they said, go into the hallway, you need to be processed. There were tons of people around those. So it was clear that however I had died, it was some mass casualty event because there were a ton of us there. And I'm going from room to room trying to find a room. They said I had to stay in some place for the night. I said, okay, fine. And there was no place for me. So they said, okay, we'll take you to another wing. So it was, me and this whole group, we walked out onto this footbridge. And that was when I saw this massive, strange gray city just sprawled out before me. And in the middle of it was literally, it was like a coat of arms stuck on a pole in the middle of this city. And I'm so glad though that Luca did something much better with the Silver Knight statue. It looks beautiful in the book, but that's how it appeared in my dream. And that was the moment where someone even said to me that this was Silver City. I mean, I didn't make up any of that. That all came to me in the dream. Yeah, which is super, super weird for a lot of reasons that I found out later on. But long story short, I was so annoyed because I found out in this afterlife, I had to get a job. I had to pay rent. I had these roommates that I had never met before. I'm working in this coffee shop and I was like, this this is the pits. Like, I don't know what I'm going to do. And then to add insult to injury, I had to volunteer at the place where I had arrived. And I was there and I noticed that there was a baby that had arrived in this arrivals room. I'm holding the baby. And this man who I knew as the professor came up to me and said, "Oh, we usually just get rid of those." I was like, "What?" He's like, "Well, they don't grow or change in this world. So we usually just get rid of them when they come through." And I said, "You are not getting rid of this baby.
Oh
I'm
my
taking this
God.
baby. I'm going to take care of this baby." And there was like, I swear, there was like a time jump in my dream.
You know, which,
Very
yeah,
cinematic.
that happens in my dreams all the time. Like, and suddenly I'm
Okay.
here, like, all right,
Yes.
go on.
So then I'm like feeling around in the baby's mouth one day and I noticed that teeth were growing. And that was the moment where I was like, oh my God, she's alive. And I don't know how she got here, but I have to get her back. And that's when I woke up. So that I knew it was something when I woke up. I talked to my roommate Brian about it. We started shooting ideas back and forth, but it took me, it's one of those things where you know that you're not quite at the right level to tackle this project at that time. And it took me years trying to write it as a novel, going through graduate school, pitching it to whoever would listen to me, to finally get to the point where, and it was after I had done Mary Shelly, because I didn't know anything about the world of comics before. I thought, oh my gosh, this is where the story belongs. This is where I can really execute it and show people what it is that was in my head and in my dream. And thankfully, it was the only thing that I pitched to AfterShock after Mary Shelley, and they were like, okay. I was like, what?
Done.
You sure? Okay.
Like, I just, okay, then I guess we're doing this now.
Yeah.
That is so cool. That is such a great origin story of this
Thank
title.
you.
Like, I absolutely love that. And just like the fact that, because you hear about it all the time when certain stories, you know, writers have come up with, you know, whether it's their teenage years or their college years, and it just takes that rumination, you know, and that
Yes.
time to really like not only flesh out the story, but to find like you said, finding the medium to tell it. And yeah, comic book that makes complete sense, because, you know, in a comic book form, you can really encompass, you know, the scenes and what it looked like and that texture to it that you know can't really get all together in you know book form or, you know, anywhere else. So it's so cool.
And it's a big world too. This is a really, really massive world. And even these first 5 books just skim the surface of the mythos that's involved in just this first level of the afterlife. And clearly I am into self-punishment because there are actually 9 levels of existence. So like, were this to go on, like the story possibilities, it's quite a big journey. And my hope is that this is just the first 5 of many books down the line, because there's a lot of Rue's story that needs to be told.
Yeah, that's so, I mean, we are just honored to have this story, you know, here at AfterShock, because it's going to be so, I'm very excited about this title. I was so stoked when I got it like like 4 or 5 days ago to write for me. So I was like, I have 2 weeks to like reread this before it comes out. Yeah.
Years before I got mine. I just got mine yesterday with my incense. So beautiful. I actually feel bad like putting my grubby fingers on these. Right? I have like 5 of these and only like 2 of the other ones. And you know, my husband, who grew up with comic books, he's like, "What are you doing? Like, don't take the plastic off. We don't have anything to put them in." I'm like, "It's okay. It's okay."
Don't touch. Yeah.
He actually ordered $100 one of these in one of those like plastic, you know, the hard plastic cases. And I was like, "Babe, you know we're gonna get them." He's like, "I want one that hasn't been touched." Like, he knows how bad I am.
He's like, "This is my special one that comes straight from them. Nobody's touched it." Like, I love it. I'm also the worst at like, because ever since I was a kid, even like the collectible stuff that I get, you know, whether it's figurines or whatever, I just take them right out of the box and put them on my shelf. And like when nerds come over, they're like, oh, I'm like, but that's what they're for. Like, you know, I have these specific comics are my, like, I read comics, and then I have my other ones that I keep like very neatly, like.
Right, of course. Yeah, no, I have some plastic sleeves too, and I will pack them up nicely. But it's so funny that you said that, because I love Amanda Nunes of the UFC. And my husband got me an action figure of her, and I was so enthusiastic. I'm about to take her out of the box. He's like, babe, they've already gone up $50 since I bought it. Like, please. I'm like, oh. So now Nunes is like frozen in plastic above my bed. It's very sad.
It's very sad. I know, like I'm the same way. I wanted to see it. I want to, and of course when I was younger, I want to like play with it and that kind of stuff. Like I wanted just to sit in this box.
When you were younger? Because I want to play with that now.
I know. So
I'm not gonna lie.
I don't know what you're talking about. Just as I reach over to one of 4 nerd shelves in my house.
Love it.
But so I'd love to hear how you kind of got into comic books, because it sounds like you were more focused on writing novels and that sort of writing style. What kind of brought you into comic books then?
Well, actually, I am a dramatic writer by trade. I was in playwriting when I lived back in New York, had a few plays produced. I came out to Los Angeles because of the wonderful Adam Glass, who's a very close friend, who got me back out to LA. And he sends his love, by the way. He texted me before this to send his love to you.
Adore him. He's so
I know,
wonderful.
he's the best. He helped me get my first job in television on Criminal Minds Beyond Borders. And after that, I wrote for a television show called The Arrangement that was on E! That I absolutely loved. And I just came off the final season of Queen of the South, which was such a complete blast. My episode aired last week. It was so cool. Yay! So TV writing is my jam. But I discovered comic books when The Arrangement was canceled, and I quickly realized that it was not going to be just a hop, skip, and a jump to the next TV job. It's really, really competitive, and I was sweating, and I called Adam and I said, you got to help me. What do I do next? And he said, well, listen, I don't have anything on the TV front, but I do have this idea for this comic. Would you like to do it with me? And I had always been really intrigued by the whole medium, but I think because when I was a kid, the only comics that were really for girls, or at least I thought, there was like Archie. That was all I really had. Because at the time, all the other women in comics, they're like scantily clad superheroes with like perfect boobs. And I was like, it's not really my thing, And of course, the world has changed dramatically and it has opened up so much. But I guess that I didn't think that comics were for me. And when Adam, brought me this project, introduced me to AfterShock, I start looking at AfterShock titles and I'm like, whoa, wait a minute. This is a whole other world that I didn't know about. And it's wonderful and it's fabulous. And not only are the stories that are being told in comics just amazing and inventive and fresh, the comic culture and the people that are involved in comics and the fans, it really is its own universe. And I am like, I have chills really saying it. I'm so honored to be a part of it now, and I'm never going to let it go.
Yay! Well, we're so honored that you had your first title with us, and now your second title.
Yeah,
like
my first solo comic.
Yeah, and I don't know if you heard Marc Hammond earlier, but he absolutely loves Silver City. It's one of his favorite new titles to come out. So we're all very stoked and very supportive of this title. We love it.
Oh, thank you. I do too. I hadn't looked at the book in so long, so I get my copies and I'm looking through and I'm like, babe, I think this is really good. I think it's really good, but of course this is not just me. And any folks out there listening to this, you have to know that it's such a combined effort. And I had a wonderful editor on this, Christina. And of course, Mike was helping out with this as well. And Luca is just insane. I couldn't believe when they were like, okay, so, we could have this guy, if you like his work, check it out. And I'm like checking it out. I look at, I'm like, wait a minute.
Like this, he wants to work on my book
first.
Yeah. Like what's going on?
Does he know me? Like what is happening right here? I mean, this guy, he's insane. I don't know if he's like heard me. Every time he, sends a picture, I always write back like, beautiful, beautiful. I think he probably thinks I'm just saying it, but at some point I'm going to go to Italy and I'm going to track him down and I'm going to buy him whatever he wants to drink for a week because he made me look so good. No, he is just fabulously talented and he draws things sometimes and it's like it feels like he is inside my head. It's crazy. English is not his first language. He's Italian. How he does this is beyond me. But that's why I'm a writer.
Yeah, and it's so cool with the technology that we have. Like you said, he doesn't speak English.
Oh,
He's
he
in
does. He
Italy. Yeah,
does. It's just not his
not
first
his first
language. Yeah.
language. And like because we've had several artists from Italy, from Japan, like we've had artists from all over, and it's so cool with technology now that you don't even have to be in the same country to be able to create these
I know.
projects together.
It's fabulous. Yeah, we've never met. I've never even zoomed with him like this. Like I've never
Yeah.
seen his face. But he's an incredible talent. And like I want to say, like anybody out there looking for an artist, but like then he'll be tied up.
Yeah.
Like,
He's a
I
bit
want him
busy.
to be
Yeah.
tied.
Well, I cannot thank you enough for hanging out with us today to tell us
Oh,
about these
my
books.
pleasure.
And reminder that Mary Shelley and Monster Hunter is available at every local comic book shop, either in the first 5 issues or the trade paperback that I displayed earlier. And Silver City is going to be coming out just this coming Wednesday on the 12th. So for New Comic Book Day, make sure you head to your local comic book shop ASAP and reserve and pick up this title because it's going to be, I think it's going to be a huge hit. So make sure you get it as soon as you can. And Olivia, where can all of everybody watching be able to follow you and all your awesome exploits?
I am on the socials. I always feel like such a grandma saying that.
I know,
I'm at Olivia C. Briggs on both Twitter and Instagram. And those two are much more interesting than my Facebook, which like really is for grannies now.
It really is, but I keep it. I got
Me
all the family on the
too.
East Coast that's how I keep in contact with them. So good
Exactly.
enough. All
But
right.
yes,
Well,
please find me. And if there's anything you want to tell me about the book, anything at all, please, I would love the feedback. And I really hope you guys out there love it.
yeah. Well, we love it already here at AfterShock, so everybody else will love it too.
Mwah.
Thank you so much. So everybody stick around. We're going to do our live sale, which includes some, you can't get it anywhere else, Mary Shelley Monster Hunter special edition stuff, as well as some more Undone by Blood. And we'll be joined by Joe Pruitt to sell that. So stick around in just 1 second. We'll be right back. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the AfterShock Happy Hour. We're about to start the live sale with the incredible Joe Pruitt. What's up, Joe?
Hello, thanks for having me, Ruth Ann.
I know, like so proper. We weren't talking bad about you earlier. We swear. We love you. Don't fire us.
I was listening. I made lots of notes. We will discuss this later.
So anyways, we're selling some stuff here on the show. So let's start off with Mary Shelley Monster Hunter, the complete sets of number 1 through 5. Show those bad boys off.
And 2 and 3.
That's one of my favorite covers right there. Is number 3. Yeah.
Very nice, huh? And issue 4 and issue 5. Oh, so gruesome and pretty all at the same time.
Yeah, and retail, this usually sells for $20, but right now we are selling it for only $15. So make
$15,
sure
$5 off.
Whoop whoop.
Yep.
Yeah, and I absolutely love. So if you hold up the covers a little bit more, because I love that each one has the same color palette, and we add in that very creepy green by the 3rd issue there.
Glow in the dark. It's actually it's radioactive, I've heard.
Yeah,
so,
where it is.
Yeah, we're trying to eliminate the population, bring it down some. Yeah.
What was your thoughts about this title as the publisher of AfterShock Comics?
No, it's actually, I thought it was very interesting take on the not only the Frankenstein myth, but also the creator of the Frankenstein story itself. I thought it was very clever and very interesting, and I actually really got into it.
Yeah, was it Adam that first pitched it to the team, or did he wait until he had Olivia on board?
I mean, it's been a while, so I don't really remember, but I'm sure Adam probably brought it to the table to us because he already had the relationship with us, and then introduced us to Olivia, and then it was an easy sell, I thought.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's show off the next thing that we have for sale. So make sure you guys grab those before they sell out, which is yet again another Mary Shelly Monster Hunter, but this is the #1 incentive cover graded at 9.8.
Dum, dum,
Dun, dun, dun.
let's
Let's
see.
see,
I'm
how
gonna try to do
shiny
it.
that
Okay.
is. Yeah.
Sorry, guys. I'm trying my best I can. This is the
So yeah.
incentive cover.
So that's who did that artwork for the incentive? Yeah. Every time, Joe.
I can't read. You know that.
It's on the back.
It's Bernard Chang.
Oh, beautiful.
So, yeah, who I worked with when I was writing cable. So Bernard's a great artist and a good friend. So I really like this. I should have looked at the art. I would have known it right away.
Yeah. Well, this is usually retail at $50, and now we're selling it for only $30. And there's only 5 of these, so you got to make sure that you grab these as soon as possible because we only got 5, and then it's gone.
Now I didn't think about it before, but I can add this in if we can't do that. I don't remember if we can add.
We can't.
We can't. Okay, then forget it. I'm not going to show you.
Forget it. Shh, Joe. God, this is our second time doing this. Get your together. Come on.
So sorry. Okay. That conversation list is growing.
Yeah. So we're gonna keep moving along because we have 2 more items that we are selling, and we want to make sure that we get through them, and you guys can grab them as well with the Shopify links that we have. So since we had the incredible Zach Thompson on for the last show a couple weeks ago, we have Undone by Blood, the #1 incentive cover, also 9.8 graded book. Let's see that
That's
cover.
Very beautiful.
Oh, yeah. That was my favorite cover, variant cover for that first.
This was
so
one of
beautiful.
Shop and Price when the TV show got announced. So with the option for the TV show got announced.
Retail, this is $125 because, as Joe said, the price went way up as soon as Norman Reedus's production company picked up the title to be their next project. But now we're going to sell it for only $75, and there's only 5 of them.
$50 off. Amazing deal.
Really big deal. And again, only 5. So make sure that you grab them as soon as possible. All right. Last but not least. So this is actually a cover from the last convention that we were at back in the very beginning of 2020, which is the Undone by Blood #1 C2E2 exclusive cover. Retail, this is usually $10, but we're going to slice it in half for only $5.
Yep.
So
the virgin cover.
Yeah. And I just love that. The expression on her face is so good. Like, it's just, I love it. Any of these covers are amazing, but that's a really fun one. And like we said, nobody was able to pick it up because it was at our last convention ever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've been sitting here, my grubby little greedy hands,
yes.
wait for eBay to open back up for me. Okay.
Yeah, so make sure you pick it up for only $5, and we have only 25 of them left after we brought it to the convention.
What a bargain!
What a bargain indeed!
I might buy them off myself.
Yeah, right. See what happens when you guys don't jump on the live sale soon enough.
Those 25 disappeared. They're in my trunk.
What happened? What happened? Okay, just making sure with the team if we sold out of anything yet. Let's see. All right, nothing yet from our awesome team of Rachel and Stefan, who we got Stefan as our producer here, and Rachel is covering all of the chat. So thank you for that. But yeah, so how have you been, Joe? What did you think of all the titles? We have had so many incredible titles come out. What have been your favorites in the last couple of weeks?
Oh wow, last couple of weeks. Publishing times are different for me because I see them way in advance, and I don't think about when they actually come out.
All right, well then, what have you been proofing recently that you're super excited about coming out?
Nuclear Family has been doing really fantastic for us. Mm-hmm. Maniac New York's been amazingly for us, and I will go ahead and give a early bump to Bunny Mask from Paul Tobin comes out. It hasn't even gone to press yet, so I guess it's about at least a month away, and it is doing phenomenally well. It's got such a hot buzz behind it already. It's going to maybe it might even hit We Live numbers for us, which was fantastic. We Live was a great surprise hit for us and a great book in itself. So I'm very happy to see that one because We Live's already gone through 3 printings of the first issue and 2 printings of the 5th issue, completely sold out.
Yeah, even the second issue or the second printing of the 5th is sold out.
It's gone.
It just
So,
came out last week. That's
yep,
well,
it's totally wiped out.
oof.
And
Well, hopefully you guys picked it up, but if not, we have the trade paperback coming out in a few months, so you can grab them all that way.
yeah, I thought I had a hefty overprint for it, and I was totally wrong.
Well, pleasantly surprised.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah, and that's also going to be our free comic book day issue out in August. It's going to be a We Live little offshoot. So
Original story.
Yeah.
Get it while it's hot.
That's exactly right. All right, let's see. All right, I haven't heard from Stefan or Rachel in a bit, so hopefully we everybody is able to purchase up these awesome stuff. Do we want to go through them one more time since we have time?
I can't do that, but I have a quick question. It's very important to me.
Okay.
Your T-shirt says "Read Dangerously," and mine does as well. But yours I can read, and mine's backwards.
Well, it's not backwards for the folks at home. It's only
it's backwards to me. All right.
You know, we.
Wow. Technology, it's amazing. Okay, we'll do this again. Here are 5 wonderful, creepy, spooky issues of Mary Monster. Mary Shelly Monster Hunter. I always want to say Mary Monster. I cut the middle words out.
Very Mary Marvel, but what?
Yeah, this is a good one, and you might hear some interesting news on that one very soon.
Yes, we can't say what, but so retail that is 20, and we're selling it for only 15 on this live stream.
Is that right? Okay,
that is.
Yeah,
I got cue cards. I got it.
Yeah,
Don't worry.
You're good. And then we also have the Mary Shelly 9.8 CBCS first issue, which we are normally sell for 50.
You are correct.
It was selling for 30.
Yeah, there we go.
And I have no cue cards, by the way.
Well, you're the one who came up with these prices.
No, actually, I am wrong though. I just showed you one that we're not offering for sale. We're offering this one for sale.
Joe, you're drunk. Go home.
It's late in the day to me. So the incentive cover, this is 50, and we're offering for 30. Ignore the previous fake
you saw nothing.
Joe. Yeah, it was just there is a blip.
The Joe show likes to mess you up every once in a while. Keep you on your toes there, folks. Keep you on your toes.
Okay, and then we have the C2E2 exclusive for $5 instead of the regular 10. And we have the graded 9.8 incentive cover for the first issue. Again, soon, hopefully soon to be a major AMC TV show with Norman Reedus attached to it. This only retails for $125. We are doing it today for $75 because I am drunk.
Yes, it's true.
No, well, I just seem that way.
Okay. Really, so we came up with this show, but really it was just for Joe to have a safe space to be able to drink while he works and have not be judged for it.
It's always happy hour somewhere, right?
It's true. All right. Well, it looks like the numbers are still coming in for everybody purchasing it online. Let's see if there's any more chatter about that. But see what else can we talk about, Joe? While we're waiting on all these sales numbers to come through.
I don't know. Do you like pizza? I like pizza.
Yeah, I like pizza.
Okay, well, moving on. Next conversation. We solved that mystery. So I am very looking forward to making that into the real world again and seeing all you lovely people, not counting Stefan, and face to face. I actually got out and went to a store event in Orlando this past weekend, and my world has been, opened again. It's exciting. I can't wait to do it some more.
Yeah, because you're traveling again pretty soon, right? Are you headed to Chicago? Is that what I remember?
I'm going to Cincinnati briefly.
Cincinnati.
I just got asked to do something down in the Tampa area, so I might do that sometime. I am going to go to Huntsville for a drop by thing soon, and I will be making a personal trip to San Francisco before too long, maybe next month.
And you're gonna come visit me, right?
I'm thinking about doing a stopover in LA. So.
Okay, I'll wait with bated breath.
We'll see.
Because I want to travel. I want to get out.
Yeah,
you can live through me. So long. Yeah, exactly. Like just live stream everything you're doing. Make me feel like I'm there with you.
Yeah, if I come to LA, I'll come to your door and window and just knock on it. I won't come in. I won't let you come outside. I just want to talk to you through the window.
So close and yet so far.
Exactly.
All right. Well, we'll wrap up this AfterShock Happy Hour for now. And thank you all so much for joining. Joe, as always, a pleasure to see you and do this live sale with you.
Way to save yourself at the end there, Ruthia.
Yeah, No, I adore you. Shut up.
It's fine. Let's do some more of these.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah,
maybe
every
2
other
weeks.
week.
Yeah,
Yeah,
2
maybe
weeks from
2
now.
weeks. Maybe 2
who-
weeks we should have. Let me double check because we already booked 2.
Somebody cool, but if we can't get them, we can maybe get, who is it? Maybe Cullen.
Yeah, I guess we'll just have to go with
Okay,
Cullen Bunn.
everybody cool said no. Is that what I heard?
Yeah, that's. I
And
mean,
then
that's the fact of the matter is that everybody in the world was busy except for Cullen, so we're going with that guy.
We can always fall back on Cullen. Okay.
Yeah, it's true.
Hopefully, some of you guys will show up and listen to Cullen talk about himself and ramble on for half an hour.
Yeah. Yeah, it's true. So we'll have him on, what is that, May 20th? And then we'll have the Inaki brothers actually for a pre-recorded interview with them on June 3rd. So make sure you guys are ready for that. So thank you all so much for joining the AfterShock Happy Hour. Looking forward to seeing you again back here for the Epicenter every Tuesday at 12 p.m. PST, as well as back right in this very same spot in 2 weeks with Cullen Bunn.
Awesome.
Oh, how long do we want to let the sales stay active?
Until they sell out. The links are active. The stock is there. Hi, this is Rachel. If you can hear me, I realize that my mic might be hot. Anyway, yeah, so the Shopify link is active. And until the inventory sells out of all those awesome titles that Joe described for us, it'll be there until the next happy hour. So get it while you can. The links only go active when we start the show. So come join us.
Yes.
But after this show, the price is $1 million.
Yes.
$1 million. Wow.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you have 3, 2, just kidding. All right, guys. Thank you again so much for joining, and we will see you on the next happy hour. Take care.